Welcome back, everybody. In the last episode, you saw that we got the radio playing. So now let's go through an alignment of the Model 80. It is a regenerative receiver. So let's go over some of the, here's the procedure. I'll post that up there. And if you look on the procedure, it calls for a signal generator and the output signal, it says max. Now it does not say to use a meter. However, we have got a meter connected, and we'll use, and here's where I'm going with this. Back in the mid 30s, early to mid 30s, if a person had a signal generator, he was probably a high-tech technician. And he probably had a meter, and that's about the only two pieces of equipment that a high-tech would have had. So a lot of these were probably done strictly by ear using a radio station. So we're gonna use it. We're gonna do it by ear, but I've got the meter connected to the voice coil of the speaker. But we're gonna do it by ear and what have you. And you'll notice also on the procedure that it has 6 controls that we're going to be looking at. And I've got them numbered here. This is number 1. This is the IF secondary. Number 2 is the IF primary. And then here's number 5. That's the low frequency, the 600 kilocycle tuner, and this is the sensitivity, which will actually do the little feedback. And if you get it too high, it'll squeal, and that's actually how you do it. You bring it up on a station to when it squeals, and then you back it off maybe half a turn from there. The other two, here's a picture of, is on the tuning condenser. And the front one is number 4, and that is the 1400 kilocycle trimmer. Then the number 3 is the one on the back of it, and that is the high frequency 1400 kilocycle. Did I say that correctly? The front one is the antenna tuning for 1400 kilocycles, and the rear one, which is number 3, is the high frequency 1400 kilocycles. So what I've done is I've got my signal generator, and it's running at 460 kilohertz. I have it isolated here with a 110 picofarad capacitor, and I put a piece of wire on the top of the tube so that I can feed it into the grid, the control grid of the tube. So let's put it on here and see if we get a sound, and we do. Okay, the procedure says, now here's a tool that I bought off the internet from one of the guys on the forum, and it is for a Philco. So, and it fits right in on here. So the first step is at 55. I've got the dial set on 55, and now we're going to do for max. And like I say, I'm going to do it by ear. And then we go to number 2, and we do it by ear. And I apologize for the sound. Now you alternate between the two. Okay, let me kill that. Yikes. So I can talk a little bit. Okay, I think we got those two maxed out. Now, it says to take and connect the grid clip back to the tube. Okay, so we will do that. You can even tell the radio's wanting to play a little bit. Of course, I've got my finger as an antenna. Okay, now we want to go to 1400 on the dial. I got the dial set on 1400, and now I've connected the grid cap back up, and I've set my signal generator to 1400 kilohertz. Okay, now we have got to connect this to the antenna itself. I can barely hear it. I can barely hear it. But now we must adjust number 3. And we said that is the rear one on the tuning condenser. Now I'm using a metal screwdriver because I haven't got anything of wood or plastic that will turn it. So we'll just have to compensate for that. And we should get for max. Okay, now we were supposed to go and do number 4 the same way. Okay, now we go back to 600 kilohertz. Let me change the dial and verify that. Okay, the procedure says to put it on 600 kilohertz or kilocycles, and the dial on 60, and to adjust number 5. Now I can barely hear it, but we got to adjust number 5. If I can get it in there. Okay, we got that for max. Now, when you're adjusting these trimmers, always try leave it on the tightening side. If you're loosening those, sometimes the plates may not expand exactly right, and then later on it may expand and be off, if that makes any sense. So you're always wanting to finish on a tightening side. You go past it and then come back and tighten it so that it's compressing instead of letting it off, if that makes sense there. Okay, we just did number 5. Now we've got to go back to 1400 kilohertz again. We go back to 1400 kilohertz and adjust number 3 on the main tuning condenser. Okay, now let me show you the procedure again. Now it talks about note 1. It says connect the antenna to the receiver, tune in a station just around 1300 or so, or 130, and adjust number 6 to a point just before the squealing starts. Tune in the stations along other points on the dial. If the squealing is present at any point, readjust it until there is none at any point along the dial. This adjustment may have to be changed when it's been set up to a different location or something like that. So, all right, let's disconnect that. We'll put on an antenna. We'll turn down the volume a little bit, I believe. Okay, I had a lot of buzzing going on there. So what I did is I went around cutting things off and found out that it was the lights underneath our counters in our kitchen, the halogen lights. Well, I've got LEDs and halogen, so I don't know. It could have been either one of those. But when I turn the switch off, it went off. I turn it back on, it comes on. So that was what the buzzing was. Okay, there's a station around a little over 1200 or so. So let's turn it up till we get a squeal. It's getting louder. You can hear the squeal. Now we back it down to where it's no longer squealing. Now it says to go all the way across the dial. See if we get any squealing anywhere else. That's the local one. All right, I think we got this. I think we got it aligned. That's about 580 right there on the low end of the band. All right, let's take a look at our cabinet now.